Well, folks, we're back on the Great War Redux. I promised and you delivered. 5,000 likes and I'd play it again. Here we go. Single player, new game. We're gonna pick 1914 today, the July Crisis, because war were declared. Our goals are beyond your understanding. No, the goals are actually quite simple. We're going to be playing as Russia, and we will play so poorly, at least initially, that we will fire the Russian Civil War. It's going to get rid of Nikolai, and our goal? Saving Private Nikolai. So we'll start in June 14th, 1914. It's simply mere days before the actual First World War, so let's go see. So to get the Russian Civil War, Russia has to lose, and well, I don't like losing, so this is going to be a very different playstyle. Now, the reason why I started in 1914 is because the World War doesn't really matter all that much to us. If I started in 1910, I'd be spending 4 years playing inconsequentially. No, we are here for the Russian Civil War. The only way to get the Russian Civil War is by playing very poorly. You see, if you go through the focus tree and take, let's see, orthodoxy and whatever, or you take constitutionalist government, force the Tsar's abdication, take any of the advanced focuses, you lock yourself out of the Russian Civil War. You can still have a civil war, but it's not the same. It's not that big one. And we're here for that big one. So what we're going to do today is play the First World War very poorly. How poorly? Well, I want to lose at least 1 million men and up to 10, maybe even 20% of our territory, and then we can trigger the whole event chain. Now, I'm not going to do anything particularly fancy. I'm simply going to organize my armies, and we'll go from there. Could get the advisors. Sure, why not, right? Might as well. But the beauty of this is that I don't have to do anything competently. I just assign an army to each of these fronts, and you'll see just how incompetently I get to play today. And construction, build some mills, I guess. It doesn't matter that much. But if I look to the future, I will be siding with the whites. And there are 2 options. Well, 3, but only 2 that are very interesting to me. You have the southern armies that start out in the Don region, around Rostov, Novocherkassk. And then you have the Siberian armies under eventually Kolchak, who start off, you know, all the way over here. I'm not really sure which of those I'll pick, so I'll spread out my construction a little. I'll build a couple of factories in the Don, and I'll build a couple of factories over here, and then we'll see which we'll take in the end. As for research, we do get to keep our research, which is nice. Could grab some nice bonuses, I suppose. We're also going to need better artillery. We're going to need better everything. Production. Yeah, we're making a lot of boats. Not sure we'll need that many boats, but hey, they're cool, so why not? And then guns, artillery, support equipment, all very important, as well as a few trains, and we'll go from there. We'll see. Let's see our units. This is the yeah, this is a chunky boy. Not really sure it's something I want to use. It also uses a lot of artillery. I'm tempted to just downsize this a little bit. This is just too big. It's too big. 25 width? Maybe? Yeah, I'm just gonna go with my usual 21 width unit. Probably gonna end up being a lot more economical. And then we'll train up a bunch of raw infantry. So just boys with guns and nothing else to fill out the lines. That's basically it. So in a few hours, the prelude to World War I is gonna kick off, and I'll let you know what it'll do. Terrorism. You know, I'm gonna pick the one that lowers my stability. Oddly enough, I want low stability in this particular run. Low stability, a lot of casualties, and a little bit of core territory lost is all the things we need to spark this man's worst nightmare. Don't worry, Nikolai. I'll save you. But first I have to endanger you so I can be the hero. There we go. Franz Ferdinand has been shot. And this will trigger the July Crisis. A political crisis. This is new-ish, I guess. People pick sides. We're gonna go the historical option here and mobilize. We will defend our brother Slavs. And this is just gonna put us on the side of the Serbs. It's the first step on the road to disappointment for Russia. There goes the ultimatum. Serbia refuses. War were declared. All right, Germans are going to come in hard and fast, and this is pretty much the spark that burns the world. Central powers are going to expand, allies are going to expand, and eventually things will go very, very poorly. Now, you'll notice I'm losing against the Germans. That's fine. I want to lose. I want to get casualties here up to at least 1 million. million. And then I need to lose about 20% of my core territory. If I can get casualties up to 2 million, I only have to lose like 10% of my core territory. But the plan is to spark the is it the February revolution, or it's one of the many revolutions. One thing I can't pass up though is the opportunity to really humiliate the Austrians. So let's see if I can hurt the Austrians while I lose to the Germans. Looks like our first little Brusilov offensive here is not playing out to Austria's advantage. So yeah, they're under enormous pressure. If I can take the railway here, I can actually link up the supply hub I took. Anyway, look at casualties again, 50,000. It's not really enough. I want to speed this up. So to get to 1 million, we have men to burn. I can't stop myself from humiliating Austria. It's stronger than me. I can't help it. I have to do it. It's not even my goal here. It's an instinct. The Ottomans have attacked. That's good. That is another front where I can throw my men into the meat grinder. I keep doing it. Another accidental Austrian pocket. I feel kind of bad for Austria. I wasn't even going into this expecting or even hoping, planning to do anything to him, but I can't help myself. It just automatically happens. And I'm about to link up with Serbia, so I don't really think the Austrians are gonna be around for our glorious revolution, but we'll see. The axes are just useless in the hands of the AI, because I'm literally just battle planning everywhere. I've taken Baghdad here, and like a nice slice of Turkey. I've taken a quarter, I think, of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and Germany hasn't really been able to push me more than a couple of provinces. I'm not even trying. And what is probably my dumbest operation yet in a war I'm supposed to be losing is my assault on Budapest. Franz Josef, I'm trying to lose. I'm doing nothing but battle planning with my starting army and some trash. You're throwing. We're up to 500,000 casualties. I've done some research. I can trigger the civil war if I really wanted to. I just have to get my surrender progress to 30%. So I'm guessing everything east of Petrograd, Moscow, and Rostov. This may be controversial, but I'm gonna do it. So let's just start falling back, giving up territory. Austria can be very grateful for this because we are outside Budapest. Now, we've started losing simply because I've just been attacking non-stop. I'm out of guns, I'm out of equipment, I'm out of almost everything. But we have clapped some Austrian cheeks here. 11% of the way there. If we have 2 million casualties, it triggers at 5%. If we have 1.5 million casualties, it triggers at 10%. If we have 1 million casualties, it triggers at 20%. We have 500,000. Yeah, so we need to trigger it, or well, it will trigger at 30%. Oof. Well, I could always lose a couple more men in the defense. There we go. This is what starts the whole thing. The Russian autocracy. This is the crisis. The Tsar's abdication. So if you want to prevent this, after doing all this, so you still want to prevent it, you can abdicate in favor of your brother Michael or Mikhail. We're not going to do that. Well, I don't think you can prevent it. It just removes Nikolai and replaces him with Mikhail, who then maybe has a better chance of preventing it. You could try to suppress the rebellion's garrisons to buy you time, so you can get yourself out of the situation by pushing back and you're no longer at that surrender limit threshold. Actually, no. The only way to not have the Tsar abdicate is to have him do it himself by not being the country leader or doing any of the 3 focuses that I said at the start that prevent the whole thing. So in 30 days, we are going to be having an abdication. And the Tsar abdicates, the motherland is on fire. It's in full swing now. We get the October Revolution. Everything gets so much worse from this point forward. So we have the provisional government. The threat of revolution has gotten worse. We have dual power as many factions, mainly the Mensheviks and the Bolsheviks, struggle for power. But wait, it gets worse. The collapse of the Russian autocracy. Yes, land and liberty. The October Revolution. And a chairman, a new leader for this country. So we have a new leader, Georgy Lvov. This is the man you have to save, or rather help to save Russia. You can turn Russia into an actual democracy at this point. But this is also the hardest part. I might try that in future if any of you are interested. That's not the goal today. The goal today is to save Private Nikolai. But if you want to save Russian democracy as the Mensheviks, this is where you have to do it. You have to trigger this man's reforms to buy time, because this man needs to stabilize Russia before everything gets so so much worse. Instead, we're going to let this take out as well, and then Lvov is going to be replaced by somebody else we know and love. Kerensky. There we go, the planning of the Kerensky offensive. This was historically an attempt by the new Russian government to prove to the Entente that they were still useful and that they deserved their backing. Yeah, it was a disastrous offensive launched by that new government. It failed. It failed so horribly, it destroyed whatever was left of the Russian army at the time, and everything just fell to pieces after that. There we go. Kerensky is the last hope of the Republic. Spoiler alert. Kerensky now has 60 days to do the same. So he has to retake Warsaw and get us back to being less than 5% towards surrender. Again, it's not going to happen. We're going to let this take out, and that is where we get the actual revolution. Now we can launch the Kerensky offensive. Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. There goes Kerensky. Hooray. And now Kornilov starts his thing. In case you don't know, a little history lesson here. So we've had the first chairman. He cocked up, got replaced by Kerensky. Kerensky tried. Kerensky didn't really succeed. And then this happened. There's riots in St. Petersburg. The people are uppity. Kerensky calls in Lavr Kornilov, the commander-in-chief of the Russian army, to bring in the troops, restore order in St. Petersburg. What does Kornilov do? He marches on the city, declares himself dictator for life. Now, we can either side with him and play as Kornilov. Interesting. We could play as Kerensky, side with him. Not what we're going to do again. And then we have the historical option is where Kerensky, in his panic, decided to arm the Bolsheviks to fend off Kornilov's men. That's exactly what you want to do. Arm fanatics with guns. 60 days, and that is where the actual Russian Revolution as we envision it starts, with the Bolsheviks seizing power. You know, to think that Russia could have been an actual democracy if all these people hadn't cocked up so tremendously. Shitty policies, shitty decisions, just an overall very poorly run country at the time. Ladies and gentlemen, the Winter Palace has been stormed. Lenin has proclaimed the Soviet Union. Well, no, the Soviet Russian whatever this place is. Things are not good. We have two options here. We either storm the Winter Palace and play as the Soviets, not what we're gonna do today, or we do not recognize these Soviets and we play as one of the breakaway countries. As you may or may not know, a lot of parts of the Russian Empire at this point decided to break away, some turning to the white movement, others being more nationalistic and trying to set up their own little countries, some with more success than others. So we do not recognize these Soviet dogs. Who do we play as? Finland, cool. Ukraine, very cool. The Don, trust me, this is what we're going to be taking. And then if we click other regions, we also have some people in Siberia that we can play. Now there's three ones that are good content-wise. We have the Don, which will form the Southern Volunteer Army, which we'll play today. We have Siberia, which eventually becomes the Russian state under, I think, Kolchak. And then we have the Northern Army Group, or the Northern Russian whatever, who plays, I kind of forget who runs them. Anyway, we will be playing as the Don. It has shaken, has stirred the Orthodox quiet Don. So after all that, we are now tiny Don Republic, and we're about to have a really bad day. It looks peaceful and quiet. Trust me, it is not peaceful, and it will not remain quiet. So we have no resources, we have no factories, we pretty much have nothing, but we have a focus tree. We are a white beacon. Let's fill the officer corps. Well, I have 1 civilian factories. Fortunately, I do have 4 mills for that, where that's worth. But on the bright side, I did get to keep all the research. So the research is mine. At least that's good. Now I see. General Alexeyev has arrived in Rostov. That would be the former Russian chief of staff. He unlocks another branch where we help Alexeyev. I think we're gonna help him. I think that leads, yes, that leads to the volunteer army. We're going to help Alexeyev to lay the groundwork for an anti-Bolshevik force, and we shall assist. So every one of these things we do gives more time to his departure. Yes, let's fund him, let's get him troops, let's just help the man. The Russians, all the Soviets, are negotiating with the Germans to sell out our country. Soviets are gonna just rip my throat out, aren't they? Soviets, I think, have just declared war on all the breakaways, or most of the breakaway states. That includes us. So they have their little puppets here in the form of like the different communes, the different workers' movements, I suppose, that rise up. in all of these separate breakaway states, and they're all gonna try to Voltron together into one big force. I'm pretty sure we can't stop them from overrunning us. I can restore Kornilov's shock regiment. I don't know if we are going to last long enough. What are our divisions like? This isn't great, and this is definitely this is definitely not great. Alright, conscription's wider. Let's restore Kornilov's shock regiment. Legendary. I sign no peace with no one. You're closing in! Kornilov's shock regiment. Welcome aboard, sir. Oh god, you're just as bad. And so it begins. The great battle of our age. The battle for Rostov and Novocherkassk. And there's nothing we can do to stop it. And now the volunteer army. So we've got 8 divisions now. They're all terrible, but we do have 8 of them. Let's start with expanding the front we have. And so it begins. The great defensive effort. The fight back. And I push to the river. Would I even be able to push these units? We'll see. If I can make it to the river, we have some sort of defensive line. Unfortunately, the enemy units are just as bad as our own. Yay, we've restructured the army. Volunteer army. I guess at this point we try to fix the army somehow. Yeah, let's go grab some political power. I guess we now just have to wait until the volunteer army leaves the Don. I guess that's really all we can do. Then our first glorious fight back. We've established defenses on the river. I could potentially push south as well, grab some more land, but don't want to overstretch myself. We put a little yellow back on the map. Good. Did the Soviet army just disappear again? They were attacking me like a second ago, and now they're gone. Oh god, their army just vanished. They had 66 last time I checked. Now they're down to 17. What are they doing? What are they even doing? I don't know, Lenin. You sound like a bit of an idiot. Anyway, as the Red Army advances, yada yada yada, the volunteer army departs. Now this is where we choose to either remain as the Don, you know, lose probably, or we join the volunteer army and we shall lead the troops ourselves. I want to play as the volunteer army. This is the Southern Army Group. There we go. Oh, and we've just spawned in here. All right, cool. I have no idea what we're supposed to do, but I guess this is it. Let's claw back some land. Decisions? No. Do I have a new focus tree? Yes! Ice march, and then we have to do things. Okay then. Now we try to win this with what little limited forces we have. Alright, that's one less enemy. Territory is mine. I don't know if it's core, but it'll have to do. Just need to work my way through the focus tree. I guess we get bonuses from this to make ourselves stronger. Fortunately, like the Soviets at this point are really weak. They have like 18 divisions, but unlike me, they have an industry, they have a manpower pool, and they can raise another army. Me, not so much. The goal to the victory here is to get more troops. I just need more troops. What? So this entire focus just broke because somebody else capitulated. Oh, great. So I lost. Oh, fine. Oh my god, that. Oh, no, no, no. That spawned like half a dozen divisions over there. No, 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 no. Oh, these guys can't be deployed yet. No, 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 no. This is gonna kill us. All right, can I deploy these men? Yes. Link up, link up, link up, link up. Repair the damage. We've retaken Yekaterinodar. I can go back to opening up mobilization. This is just gonna be a giant mess. We stopped the Russians somewhat. Let's go. Let's see if we can link up some more positions. Get a solid front line going again. This is definitely not great, but it could be so much worse. Terada wants to support us. Yeah, sure. 3 units. I'll take it. We're up to 14 divisions. They're terrible divisions, but we have 14 of them. Opened up mobilization. That brings in 10 additional units. 24 men under Denikin. They should be sufficient. Now what do we do? All of this is pretty good, but I need to start interacting with the Kuban Rada. I don't want them declaring independence, so well, I'll start with the Kuban Rada and then work my way towards the Ovsag because it gives me a pretty powerful national spirit. Oh yeah, I can recruit some volunteers. Political power well spent for free units. I'll take the free units, and I can later unlock the division templates so that the units I get, I can change their templates, but instead of getting more men, whenever I click one of these buttons, I just get manpower instead. It might not be terrible to do that later. Let's see if we can take their cities. I think we have their army trapped, or at least very well occupied. If we can take their cities, they'll capitulate. I'll get rid of a good portion of these troops here. That would free up my army to maneuver. Oh, well, I'm already in Saritsin. I think we might knock the North Caucasus Soviet Republic out. Yes! Ha-ha! Suck on that. Well, I guess we're just gonna head here and set up on that river so we have a nice little border. So far, so good, actually. Do I want to start a march on Moscow, though? I don't think I do, but I want to be ambitious. I am raising additional forces, so once I get those, I might have a free hand to try some funky stuff. Fresh forces have arrived, 6 extra divisions. Yeah, I think I outnumber the Soviets, not counting their various little sub-republics. Gonna make use of that to just push out while I can. The volunteer army is looking pretty thick. Alright, negotiations with the Kuban Rada. Do I need the Entente to help? No. Ofsag, that's what I wanted. Now I can start negotiating with the Cossacks. I need them to have high loyalty, low autonomy, and I can call in favors. If their loyalty drops while their autonomy rises, they will declare independence at some point, which is not what I want. This is extra manpower, I'll take it, and then I'll give them some land rights or something. I just need to keep them happy. They are my main backer at this point. I cannot afford to piss them off. Something just happened. What? Why did I lose all of that territory just now? You know what? Fine. Be like that. I don't care. I do care, but I don't care. We're gonna have some issues here with the provisional all-Russian government. I think we'll have, what's this? The High Commission for the Far East. That's really cool. So these are really, honestly, like the main focal point of the Civil War. I'll play them at some point as well if you guys want to see it. But these are, yeah, they've got an actual focus tree going on here. These were historically the majority of the white movement. They had the money, they had the gold, they had the most land, the most troops. Of course, we want a bit of a challenge, so I'm playing as the underdogs. And honestly, I wish the Soviets would do something. They're not training troops, but they're not really putting up all that much of a fight. I think partially because I have killed a not insignificant number of their troops already in small pockets. So they've been cut down to size a little. Encircling and destroying Red Army units has certainly paid off so far. This is the formation of the armed forces of South Russia. Volatile landscape, blah, 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 blah. We unite with the Don Republic and get their cores. Bada bing, bada boom. We have more units. 2 more units. And a much longer border. Mod makers make Soviet Russia stronger. I hate the Reds, but make them stronger. This is not as challenging as it's supposed to be, I think, because they're significantly, I mean, more than 2-to-1. They're super significantly outnumbered by all the breakaway states. I guess they've taken a bunch of casualties because I've done a bunch of encircling and destroying their units. That might be why they're so weak right now, but I would give them, either make them stronger or make the breakaway states weaker, because the main challenge of this is surviving that Red onslaught. Historically, the Red Army at the start of things wasn't great, but by the time Trotsky was done, it was a fearsome machine of war. It did not fuck around. Oh, so this is what Entente 8 does. They start shipping me stuff. Yeah, baby! The UK bringing in the guns and artillery. Okay, cool. France, what are you doing? Nothing. All right. Maybe if we can finish this civil war quickly enough, we can still dip into World War I for another go. Turns out this has been a massive win. Yeah, one more to see if we can take Tver. This is the last thing I can reach. All right, took that city. So we've taken everything we can take. There is no more territory we are capable of capturing. Yeah, okay. I'll reorganize my forces and see what goes on now. I could probably go and help out the whites by taking Petrograd, and then we'll see if we want to make some moves on them instead. Because honestly, I want to unify Russia. Oh, there goes Soviet Russia. Okay, I'll just take everything here then. Now that ends the communists. Wow, sweet. I can now reunite Russia already. Okay then, I'll click the button. Don't know what that did. We'll find out. What are we gonna be? A republic or an empire? Or a temporary statocratic regime? I mean, I came here to form an empire, honestly. So let's see what that ends up with. All white states express their regime. They want a republic. Now, let's see here. These guys don't want a republic. These guys, they might want... no. So everybody gets a vote, apparently. And then... guess like the level of support for authoritarianism or other factions or other ideologies decides on what it's gonna be. I don't really know what triggers it. I figured, you know, we got plenty of support here for the authoritarian faction. Come on. In that case, we're gonna piss people off. Let's immediately gear up for war number 2. The former territories. We'll annex them all. I don't know if this was such a great idea. All right, Kolchak, goodbye. Ah, there's events being sent out. So Armenia accepted integration. So I guess each of those countries gets the option whether or not they'll accept. And I think because I'm pretty militarily powerful, most of them are going to say, yes, please, daddy. Oh, influenza. Well, that's not good. Let's develop vaccine. Let's also destroy as much of the Russian army as we can. Oh, Nikolai just changed his portrait to not be the Chad again. Disappointed in you, Nikolai. I wonder though, with the Tsar restored to power, in control of the majority of Western Russia and its industries, would Kolchak really say no? Would Kolchak really have said, nah, it's my Russia, I found it? I doubt it. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed because there's apparently no real way for me to get a war goal on Northern Russia. Can't get that back. I got Armenia. That's cool. I got 2 Armenias, apparently. Alas, Mikhail Alexeyev, the man who saw us return the Tsar to glory, who saved Russia from the communists, the military genius who has brought us victory and glory, has passed away. With that, our main military leader. That's a little annoying. And World War I has ended. There goes Austria-Hungary. There goes, well, pretty much everyone. Vive la France! Austria-Hungary has completely shattered. Germany's probably next to get balkanized. Yeah, because like half the mechanics have broken. I can't integrate anyone else because the game still thinks I'm integrating the Trans-Caspian government, but that integration broke when I formed the new, old, worse Russian Empire. I cannot interact with Ukraine in any way because they're not at war with Soviet Russia, which is a requirement. They don't go to war with Soviet Russia until they break free from the control of the Central Powers. So I won the war too quickly. The game can't handle it. Oh, never mind. He gave up. Well, I'll be annexing everything and we'll see what we end up with then. Funnily enough, I can't actually core any of Russia. I am not able to core Russia as Russia. Is everything broken? Is that just the way it is? Everything just completely broke. Is that it? Just nothing works anymore. Oh, I can't go to war with Transbaikal because they're guaranteed by Japan and I can't get to Japan. Yeah, so we're gonna call it here. I'm unable to generate war goals. I'm also unable to integrate half my puppets. And the only war goal I have left draws Japan in, and I physically cannot get to Japan because the fleet I do have, I did manage to wheedle my way into having a fleet again. Yeah, that's stuck in the Black Sea and I can't get it out. That's great. I appreciate what they've done for the Russian Civil War. I love that I was able to... He's changed his hat again. Again. Nikolai, just pick a style. I'm glad we managed to save Tsar Nicholas II and we won the Russian Civil War. I just feel it's a little broken. Needs a little bit of fleshing out if they're going to commit to this. Still love the mod. Heartily recommend it. Hope you guys at least enjoyed the video and that you'll enjoy the next one as well. See ya.